Welcome to Petty Details, where the crew gallivants down a tree-lined lane of conversation on all kinds of different subjects. Join the crew as they jump in the Wayback Machine in the quest for nuggets of knowledge. Our journey will allegedly drop some petty details on you that you didn't know you needed to know until now. Hello, and welcome to Petty Details.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
All right, we got Cam, Monica here.
What's up?
Yep, and we are definitely going to use our shirts today. Cam,
Fantastic.
It's just a thought, not a fact.
that's right. Mine is, oh, whoops, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Mhm.
And then we got some history and shit over here.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna do
Yeah.
some history and shit.
Meg, before we keep going, do you feel like you're being watched by
I
any
do.
chance?
I
Okay.
feel like I got eyes on me all the
On
time.
you, right? Yeah. Like I
All
just
the
see this
time.
little face off to your left.
Meg, you're a real
Right.
national treasure.
I
You
am.
are.
I am. And that
Beautiful.
one's just for you, Mark. All right. So, always subscribe. Always
Yes.
leave us comments. Let us know if you have any comments, thoughts,
Ideas,
ideas.
suggestions,
Yeah.
information on
Mhm.
the topic we are talking about.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
we love the petty details that we don't know.
We really do. We
Right.
really do. Yeah.
Meg finds a lot of them, but yeah.
There are still some out there. Yeah. Somebody, was it my son? I think it might have been Will.
My son.
Yeah. He told me one of the petty details about something that we had just recorded. And I was like, damn it. I wish I had put that one in. Can't remember what it is
Yeah.
now. I'm going to have to ask him again. All
Tell
right.
him to comment on the video so that we all know it.
I
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, I missed one. It's all hard. All right. So now, if I'd known they line up just to see you, I'd traded all my money and bought me a museum. King Tut. So, Cam,
Interesting.
you probably won't know that, except for that I just sent it to you.
Okay, yeah.
But this is a bit Steve Martin did on SNL in 1978.
Mhm.
Mhm.
If you haven't seen it, go out and see it because it is
Yes.
pretty hilarious.
Google that because it's Steve
Mhm.
Martin is just
Right.
classic.
Classic Steve Martin.
Yes.
Mhm.
We
Okay.
love good Steve Martin.
We love Steve Martin no matter what. Yeah.
Well, yes.
He is a national treasure.
Haha. Yes, he is.
Mhm.
Okay, so we are going to go in the Wayback Machine though.
Whoa.
Way before 1978, and we're
Okay.
going to talk about the Mummy's Curse.
Oh,
Mm.
Oh,
intriguing.
yes.
All right, so King Tut was a boy king. He
Mhm.
ruled between about 1332 BC and 1323 BC.
Okay.
Okay.
And he took the throne somewhere between 7 and 10 years old.
I was gonna say he was
Oh,
little,
wow.
like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
And he really wasn't a major figure in Egyptian history.
Hmm.
He was pretty sickly and had
Hmm.
some deformities, which were probably caused by his parents being siblings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
incest
that'll
would do
happen.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But he didn't do a whole lot during his reign. And he died when he was about 18 after marrying his half sister.
Oof.
Keeping it in the family.
Yeah.
Right.
But nobody really knows who this guy is until 1922.
When they uncover
Oh.
his tomb.
Yeah, they got no, like, he's not a thing, really. So
Interesting.
let's go back a little bit. There is this British archaeologist named Howard Carter who's running around
Mhm.
Egypt recording tomb art. And
Okay.
he gets in with this rich Lord Carnarvon,
Okay.
who wants to throw money around
Mm.
and find antiquities. Like that's his
Okay.
thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's a collector. So,
But
Right.
he wants other people to go collect it for
oh
him.
yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
right.
Because he's
It's like I
rich.
want to do the
That's what
work,
they do.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So they start doing some Indiana Jones shit in the desert of Egypt
Nice.
in 1917.
Yes.
And they come across some pottery and cups that have this name on them, King Tut.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So Carter and the Lord are like, cool. Let's try and find his tomb,
Oh,
Yeah, as one does.
as one does.
right.
So they're digging and digging and digging in various places in the desert. And this is taking years and a lot of money.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah.
So
When all you
Lord,
have to go off is some cups. Yeah.
yeah.
Right, right.
So Lord Carnarvon is like, dude, this is too much. We're never gonna find this tomb. Like, stop. But Carter talks him into spending just a couple more months looking for it.
Okay.
Okay.
And his gamble pays off.
Oh.
Oh.
So finally, in November of 1922,
That's gotta
long
feel so good
time,
as an archaeologist.
yeah,
Yeah.
Carter finds a step
A single
and
step.
a single step. And he keeps digging and he finds a doorway that's made of plaster.
Oh.
Oh.
And lo and behold, it's got Tut's name on it.
Like his full name, though, right?
That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Tutankhamun.
Tutankhamun. Yeah. So now Lord Carnarvon is all in. He's
Oh
all
Oh,
about
yeah.
yeah.
this, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you found it? I'm not wasting money? Awesome.
Right, exactly.
Right. We have
But
some solid leads here.
yeah, exactly. But they really don't have much faith that this tomb is going to hold much. Because by this
Really?
time, most of the other tombs that had been found had already been robbed.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
think back to our story on the mummy paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, Plus this plaster door looks like it's been broken open a couple times.
Hmm.
Oh.
But Carter breaks through the door and he writes later, quote, details of the room emerged slowly from the mist. Strange animals, statues, and gold everywhere.
Wow.
Whoa.
Hmm. So this tomb is legit. Like
Yeah.
it's filled with anything and everything a king might need in the afterlife.
Dang.
That's
It's
crazy.
got food, human statues that were meant to like serve the king in the afterlife, furniture.
Hmm.
So Carter and the Lord, they're pretty jazzed, right, at this point.
Yeah.
And Carter starts to catalog this first room,
Hmm.
and it takes him about 2 months.
Oh my
First
goodness.
room,
The first room.
meaning there are multiple.
Right.
2 months to catalog. Dang.
Yeah, because in that first room,
Inventory.
yeah,
Yeah.
there are about 600 items just in that first room.
Oh my
Whoa.
gosh.
And they still even haven't found the king.
That's wild.
Goodness. Dang. Yeah.
So the next room they find holds a golden shrine box thing that takes up the whole room. And in this box is three coffins, kind of like nesting dolls.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And they open each one to finally find this beautiful golden mask and a mummy that has never been touched.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
Yeah, this is like pretty exciting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they finally found the boy king after all these years.
Wow.
Okay. But remember, they're really here for the stuff.
Right. Well,
Because,
because King Tut
I
himself was
guess.
kind of
yeah, this
unremarkable.
guy's nothing.
Mm.
So Carter keeps going through the tomb and finds another room that is a treasury.
Oh.
Oh, because, the first two didn't have enough stuff.
Right, right.
Exactly. So this room has a smaller shrine that holds the king's organs.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
In case
But
he needed them.
yeah.
Well, yeah, that was common practice
Right.
when you
Hmm.
mummify, because in the afterlife you might need them.
You might need them.
Yeah, he just puts them back. Yeah.
Yep,
Just stuff them back down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're fine.
All right. So the last chamber is like really overwhelming. It's
Mm.
the annex that has
Okay.
over 2,000 items in it.
What
Dang.
the
I'm
heck?
sitting here trying to picture like how big these rooms have to be to
Right,
hold all of this,
Yeah.
right.
and they're underground. Like
Right.
they're
Yeah,
buried.
Yeah. And they
right.
like for real, these rooms are big because we're talking a golden throne.
Yeah.
There's furniture, there's statues, there's clothes, pottery, big trunks, walking
And
sticks, chariots.
and the statues, I mean, they're like full-size statues. There, we're not
Hmm.
talking like little figurines.
Right.
No.
I
I
mean,
mean,
some
I'm
of
sure
them
he's
may
got
have
some too,
been,
but yeah.
yeah, but like these statues are like full-size statues.
Yeah.
They're
I kind
huge,
of wish
but
we actually had like a Wayback Machine and we could go back and like
Oh, I totally want to
I would
see it
love
when
to
they
see
experience
that
first
that
opened
stuff.
it.
stuff.
Are you
Yeah.
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah. But I
Oh,
mean, think about there. This is chariots in there. Those are not small.
Yeah. No.
right.
They also find a golden crown and a cobra, a golden burial mask, and even sandals.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So, petty detail here.
Ooh.
I liked this one. I really did. The sandals found had paintings of his enemies on the soles, so he could always walk on his
Walk on
enemies.
his. Oh my God.
That's sick AF.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
amazing.
I was like, that's
That is a
badass.
boss move right there. Like that is. Yep.
Just this just in King Tut was punk rock for
Right.
Right.
sure.
Hmm. So this tomb ends up having about 5,000 things total in it.
Jeez.
That's insane. That's
Right.
wild.
And this is the most intact royal Egyptian tomb that's ever found. I think
Right.
it still is to this day.
Oh dang.
Wow.
And
I would love to
Carter,
go tour it. That would be awesome.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And Carter
That's
and his
great.
team start the long process of recording everything that's found.
Mhm.
Jeez. How long did that take them?
Just one
Um,
room was 2 months. So you can
yeah,
Right? That's why
imagine.
I'm like,
a long
That was
time.
the
goodness.
smallest one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So later there is a disagreement on if the way they opened the tomb was sanctioned.
Oh.
Oh.
And if
Oh no.
Carter, yeah, and if Carter actually recorded everything that he found or not.
Oh,
Oh,
pocketed.
like he was hiding some stuff.
So, yeah,
Right.
there is evidence out there that suggests that Carter kept some of the artifacts from the tomb for himself.
Mm,
Something you don't want to play with
right.
is
Right.
is possible spiritual and afterlife wealth and items,
Yeah, it's fine. So, they're studying this tomb, and what they find is signs that the burial was rushed.
Oh,
The
Okay.
tomb is smaller than most,
Hmm.
and it's almost like it either wasn't complete when Tut died or if it was made for somebody else.
hmm.
They also find that the paint on the walls had molded because the paint wasn't even dried when they sealed the tomb.
I was gonna say,
What?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
probably it may be because he was like so young. They were like, "Oh, we didn't expect him to pass
right?
away
Oh
already,"
shit, yeah.
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 Although I don't
Hmm.
know if he was sickly and
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. But
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
come, how long did it
Yeah,
take him to build these rooms anyway?
Right,
true.
right. It probably took his whole life.
Very
Right.
They're like, "The
true.
new king is born. All right, go.
Start digging, yeah.
Yeah.
Start digging."
Yeah. So plus 150 years later, it looks like Tut has been forgotten about, like totally,
Mm-hmm.
because the tomb of Ramses the Sixth was built almost on top of Tut's tomb.
Oh
Damn.
wow.
So like even his own people kind of were like, we don't know where he is. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, who was that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Now, obviously, you can't keep this kind of thing a secret.
Nope.
So the
Hmm.
press gets wind of it and it blows up.
Wow.
The papers are fighting over the information, and the Times gets exclusive rights on reporting what is going on with the excavation.
Hmm.
Well,
And this is like really exciting because if this is what a minor pharaoh's rushed burial tomb looks like, can you
Mm-hmm.
right.
imagine what a major pharaoh's would look like?
Yeah.
Jeez, no.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then at the end of March in 1923, Lord Carnarvon dies.
Bum bum
Okay.
bum.
So he dies from a mosquito bite on his face that he cut while shaving that got infected.
Oh my God.
No way.
Yeah.
Now
So,
y'all got me terrified because that I get
right,
mosquito
that could
bites.
actually
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, what does the press do? They sensationalize his death.
Mummy's
Oh yeah.
curse.
Yep.
Right.
And they don't tell people that he was already in poor health when he got to Egypt because of a car accident that he was in back in 1903.
Oh.
And they start deliberately misinterpreting inscriptions that are found on the tomb. And the King
Oh,
Tut
Huh.
curse is born.
wow.
Interesting.
Right. So the inscription that starts floating around is death will come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king.
Hmm.
Scary, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Right?
That also sounds oddly similar to what they put in the movies,
Yeah.
the Mummy movies.
Mhm.
Except it's completely made up.
Hmm.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Of
There
course.
was no such inscription on the tomb, but the other newspapers run with the story.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
because they had the Times have has exclusive, so they're like,
And
Right.
these
oh,
other
When
hey.
papers
they
are like
say it's
fighting for the
true.
scraps. So,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, they're going to put anything and everything in there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then a big scandal happens in July of 1923. So remember, this tomb hasn't been opened even a whole year yet.
For that long. Yeah.
Right.
Right. And this rich dude, who I'm not exactly sure how he was related to the Tut excavation, like I searched and searched and I can't find anything. But he
Mhm.
seems to have just like been some important figure in Egypt at the time, but it
Okay.
Mhm.
sounded like he had visited the excavation at some point.
Huh.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that's how he's connected. Anyway, so this rich dude, Prince Ali Kamel Fahmy Bey,
Okay.
Hmm.
is with his recent bride, who is a French socialite named Marguerite Alibert.
Ooh. Oui,
Okay.
oui.
When they get into a fight and she shoots him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this hits the papers like wildfire. And it's like that's all you can find on this guy is that he was shot. Like there's not a whole
He
lot
died.
else that anybody cared about apparently. So
Right.
and
He was rich and his
because
wife killed him.
yeah, exactly. And
Right.
because he was somehow connected to the Tut excavation, even like peripherally, he is
Uh-huh.
now the second person to be struck down by the curse,
That's
Ah.
crazy. That's a crazy way to turn the story.
right?
Right.
Petty detail here. Marguerite plays the damsel in distress victim in an Oscar-winning performance and gets
Mm.
acquitted of all the charges.
Wow.
Oh
Well,
my
look.
God. They're like, you know what? She's just so sweet and
Yeah,
charming.
pretty much,
Right.
yeah.
There's no way she could have done it.
But
Right. She got
then,
smoking gun in her hands.
yeah, no,
Right.
like people knew that she shot him. Like I
Yeah.
think she even like
Right.
said I shot him.
Oh,
And they're
nice.
like, it's fine.
You're like,
Nobody
yeah.
liked him
Great.
anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
But then Marguerite has the balls to sue her husband's family to get all of his property, even though they had
Oh,
only been married like 7 months.
Oh my God.
She's like, "Hey, I shot your son. Do you think I can have his shit now?"
yeah.
Yeah.
Give me
Like,
all
I
his
deserve
stuff.
his money now. Thank you.
Yeah. I won it fair and square. I shot him. He's dead.
Right.
Right?
It's mine.
Yeah. This lady was a trip. She
That's
does lose that case though.
Well,
I mean,
I one would hope, but yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you've got all these people who are participating in this dig, right?
Hmm.
It's not just Carter digging by himself all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
So, a couple of these other archaeologists who are working on the dig decide to get in on this curse thing.
Oh,
Oh
jeez.
God.
Okay, so they really like want their 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah. Trying to make some money.
Yeah. And so they tell the papers that they were sent to Carter's home the same day the tomb was opened. And they saw this cobra holding Carter's pet canary in its mouth. And the cobra is the protective god in Egyptian history.
Yeah.
Right.
So obviously, the god was mad that the tomb was opened.
Right.
There's also a version of the story that they just heard that Carter had seen his bird in the mouth of the cobra,
Hmm.
Hmm.
but nevertheless, the story is a total lie.
Right.
and it's eaten up by the press.
Oh, I'm sure
Mhm.
it was.
Yeah.
Right.
The god was mad, so he went after his pet bird.
Bird.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. So in 1924, this other rich guy, who is also pretty important in Egypt at the time and had visited the tomb, this guy's name is Surly Stack, is
Okay.
murdered.
Huh.
Mhm.
All right.
And there's another guy, Sir Archibald Douglas,
Uh-huh.
who was the X-ray technician that Carter invited to Egypt to X-ray the mummy. He also dies.
Okay.
How did he die?
Well, he never
Spontaneous
even
combustion.
yeah.
Right.
So he never even got to go and X-ray the body. Like he never
Oh,
was even around
Oh,
it.
he was just
don't think it,
invited.
don't say it. Don't think it, don't say
Yeah,
it. You
Right.
die if you even think about the name.
right. So obviously the curse is struck again.
Uh-uh.
Clearly.
So
Right.
meanwhile, Carter and his crew are still cataloging the artifacts when the curse takes a vacation. So until 1928, when one of the guys that had worked on the excavation, Arthur Mace, dies of arsenic poisoning.
Mm,
Oh,
Yeah. Which
that's
may,
gotta suck.
yeah. Oh
yeah,
God, that's a
You know?
horrible death.
absolutely.
Yeah. And this may not have been as big of a deal had Carter's secretary, Richard Bethel, died in 1929, and he is suffocated in his bed.
Oh,
By what? A person did
Yeah.
that? Or,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
And then Richard's dad also
No.
dies when in 1930 he falls 7 stories to his death.
oh dang.
Okay, now y'all got me believing in this
Right?
curse.
So I was gonna say, so
Now
this
it's
curse is like closing in closer and closer because I'm like, why is it, if there is a curse, why is it like outskirts of people
missing him.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then yeah, instead
It's
of
Final Destinationing him. He's the main
there you
Right.
character.
go.
It's
There you
coming
Yeah.
after
go.
Carter.
Right.
Yeah.
And remember how we said that Carter probably was keeping some of the artifacts on the side?
Absolutely
Hmm.
he was.
Okay. Well, Carter has a friend named Bruce
Mm,
Ingram.
okay.
And this other dude named Henry Field
Hmm.
claims that
You
he,
know, in the future, if I'm ever in a story, I would hate to be labeled other dude.
other dude,
Crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Other dude.
So
Yeah,
this
that
other,
would
yeah,
second billing.
second billing. Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
third billing on this one.
Yeah.
All right, so this other dude, Henry, claims that he sees a paperweight in Ingram's house that is a mummy hand.
Oh
And
no.
Ingram had gotten it from Carter.
Hmm. That's what I
Okay,
would use as a paperweight, naturally.
right.
Right.
Henry Field says that there is another curse in Tut's tomb that says, "Cursed be he who moves my body, to him shall come fire, water, and pestilence."
Hmm.
Oh. Now, what you don't want to get hit with is pestilence.
Right.
Right.
So
Fire, water, you can take those out.
that's fine.
Pestilence, you might as well just call it quits.
So this is confirmed, though, when Ingram's house burns down.
Oh gosh. Oh geez.
Oh no.
Yeah, but Ingram rebuilds the house just to have it flood.
No. That's that's wild.
Next,
Yeah.
you're
That's
gonna tell
insane.
me that he had a bunch
Right.
of locusts.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't mention the pestilence, but we don't even know if this was a thing. Like,
Right.
we don't even know if this existed, if it was Tut's hand. Like,
Right.
who the hell is this dude? Like, we don't even know.
Or he just
Right.
had really crappy luck.
Right. He built
No,
his
for
house in
real.
the bad area of town.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but there is no curse, or there is no evidence that that curse that Henry like talked about is
Yeah.
Right.
in the tomb either. Like, it's just
Okay.
not there.
Okay.
So we're just making up curses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
That's how
who
the best
disturbed
ones
my
get
tomb
started.
will win $1 million.
Yeah, pretty
Bam.
much. Yeah.
Me, me.
You can put anything in there.
Right.
So it takes Carter and his team 10 years to catalog everything.
Oh my
You asked about that
goodness.
earlier, Mon.
Yeah.
10 whole years.
Jeez.
Hmm.
Wow.
And while all these deaths are occurring, the press is obviously asking Carter, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Right.
And he calls the curse Tommy rot.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
We need to bring
Okay.
back some of these old phrases.
No, for real.
For real. Okay. But what's like really going on?
Hmm.
Well, it's a lot of bad luck,
Right.
sensationalism, and
Mm-hmm.
possibly nasty stuff that's in the tomb.
Because it hasn't been open for
Yeah.
thousands of years. Like it's just
You
been
know.
Yeah.
holed up and there's mold because the paint was wet and
Right.
yeah,
Hmm.
some just nasty
Variants
stuff.
of variants of diseases that we never
Yeah.
even would have thought about.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm. So there have been actual curses, though, written on other tombs.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
Even an ancient text reads death by disease that no doctor can diagnose.
Damn.
Hmm.
Okay. So this isn't really a stretch that there would be a curse there,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
but these curses were usually put on the tombs of rich private people and not the royals.
Okay.
Okay.
Huh.
And this is because the royals were protected by the pyramid texts, which is like a series of spells. So
Mm-hmm.
they don't need
Hmm.
some curse. Like they've got this other thing.
Right.
True.
They're cooler than that. They're cooler than a
Right.
curse.
Yeah. We don't need your curse. We got a spell.
Right.
Sounds cooler.
And
Mm-hmm.
then there are a few things that could actually be harmful in the tombs that they have found.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm.
So, like we talked about them. But radiation has been found in other tombs in Giza, like Saqqara and the Old
What?
Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Radiation.
because some of the materials that they would get paints from or
Hmm.
materials that they would build with were
Irradiated.
radiological.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the coffers that were built from basalt could have been the source of the radiation or the radon gas.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it could be the building materials too.
Yeah.
Right.
And like we said, there can also be some harmful mold, but you got fungi. Like we
Oh
don't know
yeah.
what's in these locked
The
tombs.
tombs are made of asbestos. They'll
Right,
hear
for
Right.
about it
real.
in a
Like we
couple
have no
years.
idea. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And even in Tut's tomb, it was reported that some of the things were covered in a weird pink film.
Ew.
Yeah.
Okay. No telling what that is.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That's not going to make people sick. It's
Some
fine.
weird mushroom
Yeah.
spores. They'll start
Exactly.
seeing things. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just some slime mold that decided to, hey, look, we're
Right.
gonna
Right.
grow. Yeah.
And in the 1960s, there was pottery found that contained 200 tons of unidentified substances that could suggest that toxins were buried with the mummies.
Unidentified
Oh.
substances.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of
It's just
stuff, right?
just in the logbook. Unidentified substance.
Yeah.
Substance. Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. Most of the people that died from this alleged curse
Uh-huh.
Mm.
weren't even at the tomb when it opened. And
Right.
some of them never even saw the tomb.
Right, like that X-ray tech who never actually got to X-ray the body. Like,
Right.
Exactly. And 58 people were at the site when the sarcophagus was opened.
uh-huh.
That's a lot
And
Oh.
of
none
people,
of
right?
them.
Right.
Well, only 8 of those people died within 12 years.
Okay. They could have been
Not
Okay.
a
So
old.
that's,
That's
I
not a
mean,
lot.
that's, yeah.
And they could have been old, like,
Yeah, you don't know how old they were, if they were in bad
right.
health, if they fell on the dig, busted their head,
Yeah.
you don't know.
Right.
So, if anything, like this curse gave you bad luck and didn't kill you,
No, yeah.
right? So think about it. Like Ali was shot by his wife, which is murder.
Yep.
Right.
Stack was murdered.
Uh-huh.
Richard Bethel suffocated in his bed, murder.
Uh-huh.
Right.
The Lord dies by infection.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Douglas, the X-ray tech, died of radiation exposure because that was his job.
He's an X-ray tech.
Dang.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if it's true, then there's a guy with the mummy hand
Right.
who was obviously chose the wrong house.
Yeah.
No, for real.
But we don't even know if he had this mummy hand. So like those are all
Right.
just bad luck.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Howard Carter himself didn't die until 1939.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was from Hodgkin's disease.
Oof.
Which, I mean,
Right.
you could link that back to the dig, because
Yeah,
again,
but
who knows what they uncovered, and just it
yeah,
takes a
Hmm.
while, but
but to the curse, that's a stretch.
yeah, oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
So,
curse is the mold and mildew you are inhaling.
yeah,
That is the
exactly.
Yeah.
That
curse.
is the curse. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say for
There's
the
a
curse
there's a
to take
physical
that long.
curse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So there was a study done that concluded that the people associated with the dig lived to an average of 73 years old.
That's
Okay.
Okay.
better than most, honestly.
What I was
Right.
gonna say, and given the time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And this guy, Sergeant Richard Adamson, who was a police guard
Hmm.
and really should have gotten killed by the curse because he was not only at the tomb when it was opened, but he guarded the tomb for 7 years.
Okay,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So
So
if anybody, it's gonna hit
prime candidate.
anybody. Yeah.
Right.
He lived until 1982 and died at the age of 80.
Oh my
Dang.
gosh.
Maybe they saw him as a protector of the tomb,
He
therefore
was
he
he
did
was
not
the
get
Cobra.
cursed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the Cobra,
Yep.
secret Cobra.
There you go.
So as Carter said, the curse is Tommy rot, right? But that hasn't stopped the fascination and study of the tomb.
Hmm.
Because remember, this is really a big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody had seen artifacts like this in one place.
Right.
And Herbert Hoover, the president, Cam.
Yeah,
Um,
I know who Herbert Hoover
okay, just
is.
making sure. Um, he even
President
named
Coolidge and one other one from back
that other
then.
guy.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one other guy.
So Herbert Hoover even named one of his dogs King Tut.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And the artifacts have traveled the world. They've seen countless museums. Obviously, like he was so famous that Steve Martin wrote a song about him.
Right.
Yeah.
And King Tut is still studied today.
Oh, I
Wow.
bet.
But the curse actually did change the way that tombs were excavated in the future.
Okay.
Okay.
So some positive came out of these rumors.
Right. And
Right.
there were always kind of like a bunch of theories of how King Tut died so young.
You know.
Mm.
So one of them was that he was murdered. There was a
Okay.
theory that he died in a chariot crash.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Okay, but as recently as 2010, they found that he probably died of malaria.
Mosquito
Oh,
bites. Those dang
dang.
mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So scientists found traces of the parasites in his remains.
Mm.
Oh.
And like we
Wow.
said earlier, Tut was deformed. He had a
Mhm.
clubbed foot, so he couldn't
Right.
even
Okay.
have ridden in a chariot. That's
Yeah.
not a
Right.
thing.
Huh.
So, in fact, some people at this stage aren't even sure if it's actually the boy king in the tomb at all.
Oh?
Really?
There are still questions about his lineage, and some think that the mummy is actually Tut's father.
Oh.
Oh.
Hmm.
Huh.
Huh.
So, yeah.
But okay.
Is it not the mummy of a child? Of like an 18-year-old kid?
I don't know.
Or they just don't know. It's just like mummified, so they're just
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I
Huh.
guess you can tell that, but I don't
Crazy.
know.
huh.
Um, and also, like, I'm really kind of on the fence about all this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's really cool that we found out, what this burial tomb like looked like intact. And we
Yeah.
did learn a lot from it.
Mm-hmm.
But can we not dig up these dead people?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
we did
no.
we did yeah. We're like,
Right.
oh cool, it's been intact and no one's done it, but we will break into it and remove stuff.
Right. Like
Right.
Like, oh
shouldn't
no.
shouldn't these people be allowed to rest and not be made into paint or put on display?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, I see the historical value in finding the tomb, but I also do feel bad for all these people who have died and now are being disturbed.
Yeah.
Right. Rest
Put
in
on a
peace, King
wall.
Tut.
Yeah, put in
Right.
put in some museum. I don't know.
Right.
The whole thing just kind of weirds me out. So,
It is a little odd that, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the
Because people
artifacts I
can just
get,
throw money at it and then it just doesn't
yeah.
matter anymore,
yeah.
you know?
I
Like
mean,
the
it's
artifacts I get being in a museum, like, okay, yeah, but like I don't know.
Yeah,
The
see?
human remains of a person.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like on
Yeah.
the
That's
fence
icky.
about it because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to study this and see like how they mummified people and stuff like
Right.
that.
And
But
it's,
then
I
it's
mean,
like,
it's fascinating. Like, I love history in general, just, but yeah,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
So that's why
That's
I'm kind of
crazy.
like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Um, so that is the story of how a minor pharaoh, who even his own people had forgotten about,
Because they buried somebody almost on top of him.
right, became a worldwide sensation and a household name.
Yeah. I didn't realize he was like a minor pharaoh. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, I thought
Right.
he was
just
like big time.
because, yeah, I mean, because of all the stuff that you hear about, King Tut, like,
Yeah, that's the only
Right.
one that people actually probably remember at this point.
Right.
yeah, I mean, besides like Ramses, but Ramses because movies and all that
Yeah,
Right.
stuff. Um, but yeah, King Tut, like, it's really the only other pharaoh that I would be able to name.
right? Maybe
Like, those
Hmm.
are probably the
Cleopatra,
two.
right?
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I guess I just never realized how insignificant he was during his reign.
Right. I didn't
Hmm.
either. But
Crazy.
but I mean, it was what, like 10 years?
Yeah,
Right.
And most of it he was a child, so how
right.
much is he really
Right.
gonna
Well,
accomplish?
and how much did he rule? Like, was it him
Oh
or
Yeah.
was
yeah.
he sort of like the face of the pharaohship?
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah,
like
probably.
Right.
somebody was behind the scenes.
Hmm.
Ancient Egyptian politics and you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly. So stay curse free and petty, my friends.
Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
please.
Don't go
Bye.
digging in the Egyptian
Yeah,
sand.
please don't take
And
part
if
in
you
that.
shave, use the aftershave so you don't get infected.
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
Right.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.